this is Irvin Griffin, and yeah, I got my Pop's Barbershop t-shirt. Again, shout out to Prince Giabo for over the holidays. Thanks for the nice gift. Nod to the series Luke Cage, where Pop's Barbershop was prominently featured in there. It's not a real place, but it was a prominent spot in the show. Anyway, I'm here to talk about this guy right here. Mr. Former President of the United States, Mr. 44, Mr. Barack Obama. And he recently did a town hall with NBA Golden State Warrior and NBA champion, of course, Stephen Curry. Now, I'm not going to play the whole thing because that whole thing is over an hour. If you want to see the whole thing, I'm going to put the link to that video down in the comments section. And one of the things that really touched me that he talked about was his thoughts on manhood. And it's something that, I think everybody, regardless of, he talks primarily about men of color because the question was posed from a Hispanic man about men of color and, the masculinity, but this can really touch anyone. And I think we've all struggled with that at different points. I know I have. It took me almost 40 years to really get comfortable with who I am, both just as a human being, as a man, as the way I do things. Was I doing wrong? Maybe I need to be harder or more loud and stuff. And it was like, no, that's not you. It will come off fake and forced. Not to mention make an idiot out of yourself. And I love Barack's answer to this guy. Now I am going to play the audio in the background. Like I said, if you want to actually watch the whole summit, the link will be down in there. Anyway, check it out.
We're going to make that happen. So, Mr. President, we have the next question from Alejandro, who wants to talk about masculinity. All right.
Hi, my name is Alejandro Galicia. I'm representing Sacramento. I'm affiliated with the Center Sierra Health Foundation, and you both already kind of touched up on it, but from the time boys and men of color are born, we're given this narrow definition of what it means to be a man. And how can we begin to change the narrative that is currently forcing us to follow a path that doesn't align with our identities, including our brothers are part of the LGBTQ plus community?
It's something that I think all of us have to recognize, that being a man is first and foremost being a good human, and that means being responsible, being reliable, working hard, being kind, being respectful, being compassionate. And the notion that somehow defining yourself as a man is dependent on, are you able to put somebody else down instead of lifting them up? Are you able to dominate as opposed to support? That is a old view, and a view that thankfully I see a lot of young people rejecting, because each of us have gifts that express themselves in different ways, and some of us have gifts of art and music, and what we're really attuned to is people's feelings and sensitivities. And And that's magic, and we need that. And then some people have gifts that have to do with being an amazing athlete, or have to do with being great at math. And what we want to do is create a space in which young men of color, and young men generally, don't have to feel as if, for me to be respected and admired in my community, I've got to act a certain way. A lot of the violence and pain that we suffer in our communities arises out of young men who nobody's said to them what it means to be respected. And so they're looking around and they're, well, I guess being respected means I might shoot you, or I can make you back down, or I can disrespect you and there's nothing you can do about it. And that is a self-defeating model for being a man. So we have to constantly lift up examples of successful men who don't take that approach. And that's hard to do in this society, because you were talking about music. Let's face it, a lot of hip hop and rap music is built around me showing how I got more money than you, I can disrespect you and you can't do nothing about it, I'm gonna talk about you and punk you, and ironically that actually shows the vulnerability that you feel. I mean, let me say this. Like, if you are really confident about your financial situation, you probably are not going to be wearing an 8-pound chain around your neck. Because you know, oh, I got bank, I don't have to show you how much I got. I feel good. If you are very confident about your sexuality, you don't have to have 8 women around you twerking. I mean, why are you all like, you seem stressed that you gotta be acting that way? Because I've got one woman who I'm very happy with. Right? So, and she's a strong woman. So, I think part of the challenge we have is that because oftentimes racism historically in the society sends a message that you are less than and weak, we feel like we've got to compensate by exaggerating certain stereotypical ways that men are supposed to act. And that's a trap that we fall into, that we have to pull out of. If you're confident about your strength, you don't need to show me by you putting somebody else down. Show me how strong you are that you can lift somebody else up and treat somebody well and be respectful and lead in that fashion. So, anything you want to add, sir?
I've just been mentored right there.
Okay.
That's amazing.
Okay.
Wow.